So today at my church, we had someone from an organization called Destiny Rescue come and speak to us and to talk about the work that they do. And Destiny Rescue help people all around the world, or children all around the world who have been trapped into prostitution. And there's a whole multitude of reasons why. So maybe their parents died, and then as a way of feeding themselves they're forced into prostitution, or even like maybe one of their parents loses a job, and to try and help out, like they feel like they have no other choice, but to go and start working at a brothel, at a massage parlor, or even as I found out today, there's a lot of kids that get kidnapped. They get enticed in some way by these people saying, oh, I'm going to take you shopping, or I'm going to, take you this. And there's even people working at the border, the border of a lot of these African countries, specifically looking to see if they can notice something strange about whether it's like a man and a child, or a couple and a child. And then what they'll do is they'll take them into separate rooms, interview them separately, and then they'll know if their stories don't match up, that's someone being kidnapped, and eventually will be forced into prostitution. And it's really sad. It's really sad. And you just think there's so many wicked people in the world. There are, like, you think about the people that run brothels, right? I'm pretty sure they call them, like, if it's a woman, they call them madams or whatever. Like, to think that they're just okay with letting a baby or a child, like receiving money from strangers to abuse a child or a baby. Like, that's horrific. It's disgusting, right? So, and also, like, I remember, and I don't know why the videos aren't popping up anymore, but there used to be videos that used to pop up on my FYP of people who did this too. And I was so intrigued by it. I always, used to watch it, and I supported them. And so I'm going to try and look for the page again, because, yeah, I remember just being like so touched that there are people out there risking their lives to rescue children. And then with Destiny Rescue, obviously the rescue is just the first part, right? They have to rehabilitate these, like, children. And I think he said that there was like a 93% reunification rate, which means that they do find their families again, and then from there they help them out with other things, like they run little organizations, like, for example, like a flower shop, or like a grocery store, and then they use those stores to rehabilitate these girls, like, for them to have a way to make money so that they don't have to go back to into prostitution again. And yeah, it just, like, to know, like, that there is such evil people out there. And I think that this is, like, why a lot of people ask that question, is that if there is a God, why does he let bad things happen? And that's because God gives us free will. And I guess if he didn't allow these things to happen and the world was so perfect, how are us Christians meant to do our jobs of spreading the gospel and helping people, and shining our light to people? So, but so I found this psalm that I just want to quickly read out for you guys. So it's Psalm 58, and it's called A Cry Against Injustice. Okay, so, do you really speak righteously, you mighty ones? Do you judge people fairly? No, you practice injustice in your hearts. With your hands you weigh out violence in the land. The wicked go astray from the womb, liars wander about from birth. They have venom like the venom of a snake, like the death of a cobra, like the deaf cobra that stops up its ears, that does not listen to the sound of the charmers who skillfully weave spells. God, knock the teeth out of their mouths. Lord, tear out the young lion's fangs. May they vanish like water that flows by. May they aim their blunted arrows like a slug that moves along in slime, like a woman's miscarried child. May they not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the heat of the thorns, whether green or burning, he will sweep them away. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the retribution. He will wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Then people will say, yes, there is reward for the righteous. There is a God who judges on earth. So, just remember that if, it may, as Christians, of course, it's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt us so much when we do come across evil people in our lives or when we hear of these evil things. But just know that God is a just God. And he in the end, he's going to have the ultimate say over everything that happens, And I just pray, my prayer is that, as if it's possible before Jesus comes back, that all of these children that are in this situation can be saved. I really, really hope that. And that is why God allows these, organizations to exist, to save all of these children. And the guy was telling us today that to date, 26,000 children have been saved from their organization alone. And since they're not the only organization that are doing this kind of work, I'm sure that number is much higher, and yeah, and then they were saying that some of the top countries are like the Dominican Republic, the country where they have Kathmandu, Nepal, and so yeah, just I hope that we, my request is as well, if you guys could pray for them, for the work that they're doing, because that's amazing. That is so amazing, and yeah, but anyway, this is a bit of a heavy topic, but I just wanted to talk about it anyway, and may God bless you all.